Hello, everyone. This is going to be Dragon Ball Super Chapter 61. And this chapter is a massive disappointment. It's a big letdown for me, especially when I had high hopes for what Vegeta could have done. But as per usual, just the way the story is written, it's not. Vegeta is not the main character, so he's obviously not going to win the fight. But at least give him one W. But apart from that, as we go through the chapter, I gotta say, 80% of the, no, actually 90% of the chapter, I was very happy with the direction the show was going with. But the last 10% of the chapter really, just really upset me because of how it's always going to be. And I thought they were going to try to do something different, but, it's always the same. But basically this chapter, I was really impressed with the Vegeta's new techniques for spirit vision. It's really unique in the sense that yeah, Vegeta has an ability that pretty much counters all the previous villains that we've faced up until now. So it's kind of a technique that he might have drawn from his own personal experiences, and it would have been very useful against his fight with Cell. Because he fused with Android 18 and 17. It would have been useful against Boo because he's a fusion of everything he eats. So that would have been really good. And it would have been good against who else? Zamasu when he fused with himself as well, Goku Black. It's just there's so many fusion characters in this series. It would have been really cool if he had them at that time. Yeah, anyway, that ability. But nevertheless, I gotta say I'm really enjoying this ability. It brings something new to the table, but it can be a bit situational in the fact that you can only beat opponents with this type of power up anyway, especially these fusion types anyway. But it was quite interesting to see. But if we talk about Vegeta's raw ability and his new train state, I would say he didn't really overpower Moro at the beginning, as we can see that Moro just kind of slaps him away a few times. But in a Vegeta, so in terms of raw power, Moro was still stronger than Vegeta. It's only over time as Vegeta slowly drains Moro's energy, he starts to win. So in terms of more, raw strength, Vegeta obviously he increased quite a bit as he's displayed because he's more in tune with his spiritual level, but he's still not as strong as Moro is at this top level. So that's something to note. But in terms of Vegeta, he does counter Moro very hard in the sense that because he Moro requires other people's energy to get stronger. So, but yeah, nevertheless, throughout the fight, Vegeta slowly starts winning, and it just ends up with Vegeta completely dominating Moro. And I really like the part at the end where it's a complete victory for Vegeta in the sense that he's about to deliver the finishing blow. And we know that Vegeta doesn't hesitate with that kind of stuff because he's a bit of a savage. And he even asks Jacko, does he need him dead or alive? And as we see him about to do the final blow, Moro has a trick up his sleeve with his, which is his backup, which is 7-6. Is it 7-6 or 7? Let me see what it is. Let me read it again. I think I want to say 7-3. Give me a second while I look through the chapter. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know how, but I'm kind of annoyed that Vegeta even let him be anyway. Like, how did he miss the shot? That's kind of annoying. But I guess the explanation was magic. But yeah. So he eats. Where is he? 7-3. I want to say 7-3. Yeah, it is 7-3. As I presumed, but what I like about him eating 7-3 was it was already hinted at that it could happen. Like it was already explained, so we knew that 7-3 had a back of Mamoru's powers. So I appreciate that it wasn't a BS where he just randomly eats him and gets a power up. And we only find out now that he's a backup. So I guess it was nice that we were told what do you call it? That we were told early on that he had the ability to do that anyway. So, and this kind of fusion is different because my dude Moro, like legit, he swallows 7-3 whole. Like he doesn't try to take his energy or anything. He literally eats him like whole. That, and I gotta say that's pretty crazy of him anyway. I gotta say that is very savage of Moro in a sense. But and we see him kind of transform, and he looks like a fusion of 7-3 and Moro. And his new design, it does look quite sleek in a sense, but he also looks like every other Dragon Ball Z villain. He looks very Cell-like, and he looks a bit like Majin Buu with his trousers. And yeah, there's a bit of everything and mixed in. Like he does look quite generic in terms of his ability, I mean design. But I want to say, I am rocking with the new design, and I can see hints of 7-3 as well in this design. He does look a lot like Hit as well. I got to say, just adding it in there. But and uh, what else in the chapter? We kind of get this commentary from Piccolo about how Vegeta's changed as a person, which I find completely pointless, because the whole point of like, it feels a bit redundant, because we explored that topic already several times, and the topic was thoroughly executed in the Majin Buu arc, where we learned that he's changed his ways, blah blah blah, and the same thing Piccolo repeats, and it's like we're so far into the Dragon Ball like lore and story, and it just feels like the we're way past that point of talking about discussing about Vegeta's change from how he used to be a villain. Like, he used to be a villain like 30 years ago. Like, things have changed so much since then, and why is he only bringing it up now? So I thought all that context about him being a villain, that was a bit unnecessary, and it was a bit redundant. But what I did like was, Vegeta did mention that he wants to atone for his sins, because he thinks he's still going to hell, because he still holds himself accountable for the bad things, and he hasn't forgiven. Like, he still thinks what he did in the past was bad. Obviously, he can't change what he did in the past, but that was nice. But what also was cool was, Vegeta, because of his Force Spirit fission, and he returns the life force back to where they began, and we learn that nearly all of the Namekians are revived. So in a sense, this is him kind of what do you call it, repaying and trying to atone for the sins that he committed on planet Namek, stuff like that, by making them all come back. So that was pretty nice of him. And I did like Vegeta trash talking Piccolo a little bit about his new ability, trying to say, but he can even, like, what do you call it, split Piccolo back into him, Piccolo and Nail, or even the old man Kami. But I guess stuff like that. So that was pretty crazy that Vegeta can do this, and that's even a possibility, because Piccolo's fusion has always been seen as a permanent thing, and for there a way for that to return as well. So that's pretty crazy. And uh, and the final thing of the chapter is, as soon as Moro gets his new power up, he just completely one shots Vegeta, and he's out cold. And it looks like it's up to Goku to beat Moro again. So that's kind of annoying. So I'm guessing there's a few ways this story could go. We could see another fusion, but I doubt we'll see another fusion. But I have a very strong feeling, uh, Goku has to Goku has to unlock Mastered Ultra Instinct, and he's gonna win that way against this level of Moro anyway. But I hope that's not how it ends, to be honest, because I want this to be Vegeta's arc, and I still have hope that Vegeta might be the one to beat Moro by himself. But it's not looking likely, since he got one shot just there and there. But that is one path. Another path could be fusion. I do like my fusions. Gogeta, Vegeta, whichever. I don't care. And the last thing is, I want to see Vegeta come back. Like, just get up and completely dominate Moro and delete him. I want Vegeta to delete Moro. That would be so satisfying to watch. But that's not going to happen anytime soon. But that is my preferred choice. But I feel like the actual progression of the story is just going to be Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku beating Moro anyway. But that's my theory anyway. But we'll find out sooner or later anyway. But that was all for me. Bye.